I probably have less than 24 hours to live, and the woman planning my murder is downstairs making me breakfast. I found a dark web checklist on her open laptop. Step 1. Burn him with hot coffee. Completed. Step 51. Kiss another man. Completed. Step 90. Sleep with another man. Completed. And right at the bottom, blinking in glowing green text. Step 100. Kill him. Pending. My name is Mark. I am 32 years old, and for the last 3 years, I believed I was the luckiest man on earth. My wife, Chloe, was the kind of woman who made other people stop and stare when she walked into a room. She was elegant, softly spoken, and fiercely loyal, or so I thought. But right now, my hands are shaking so hard I can barely hold the laptop. It all started 20 minutes ago. I woke up, and my phone was dead. I needed to check an urgent work email, so I grabbed Chloe's laptop from her nightstand. She usually kept it locked, but this morning, she must have been in a hurry. It was wide open, but the browser wasn't on Google. It was on a dark, unindexed web forum. The URL was a string of random numbers and letters, a classic Tor network hidden service. At the top of the screen, a thread title was pinned in bold, The 100 Step Partner Destruction Challenge. My eyes scanned the screen. The account username was Cat in Heaven, the exact name of Chloe's childhood pet. My heart started to beat a little faster. I told myself it was just a morbid online game, a joke. But then I started reading the log. She had been updating this thread for months. Step 1. Throw away an item of clothing he loves without him knowing. Completed. I suddenly remembered my favorite vintage leather jacket that vanished mysteriously last winter. I swallowed hard. The coincidences were piling up. I kept scrolling. Step 15. Put a crushed sleeping pill in his morning coffee to make him miss a meeting. Completed. A cold sweat broke out on the back of my neck. 6 months ago, I had inexplicably slept through my alarm and missed the most important quarterly review of my career. Chloe had made me coffee that morning, kissing my cheek as she handed it to me. The challenges grew progressively darker, more psychological, and deeply twisted. By step 30, it involved drawing blood. Step 30, make him bleed. Act totally innocent. Completed. I remember the time she accidentally dropped a heavy kitchen knife right next to my bare foot, slicing my toe. She cried for hours, apologizing. I spent the evening comforting her while I bled. I felt sick to my stomach. This wasn't a game. It was a documentary of my abuse. I scrolled down frantically, passing dozens of horrifying entries. Step 51. Kiss another man. Completed. Underneath this entry was a photo. It was blurred to protect the man's identity, but you could clearly see their lips locked together inside a car. Step 54. Tell another man you are disgusted by your husband. Completed. There was an audio file attached to this one. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely click the play button. The voice in the recording was unmistakably Chloe's, but it was a tone I had never heard before, seductive, venomous, and dripping with lust. I don't love him. I could never love him, her recorded voice whispered. He makes my skin crawl. He's weak. Look at what I'm wearing for you. Do you want to see more? I sat in the dark kitchen, the glowing screen illuminating my horrified face. I felt like my internal organs had been turned to ice. My wife was a sociopath. I dragged the scroll bar to the very bottom of the page, dreading what I would find. Step 90. Have sexual relations with another man. Pending. And then, the ultimate goal. The end of the road. Step 100. Kill him. Pending. I couldn't breathe. I stared at the words, kill him, until the letters blurred into green static. Suddenly, the browser page automatically refreshed. The status for Step 90 changed right before my eyes. Step 90. Have sexual relations with another man. Completed. Below the updated text, a new photo had been uploaded. It was a dimly lit hotel room. I recognized Chloe's signature silk bathrobe draped over a chair. In the background, a man with broad shoulders lay face down, asleep in the messy bed. The pieces violently clicked into place. Just last weekend, Chloe had gone on a so-called business trip to Chicago. She had called me from her hotel saying, "I'm exhausted from the meetings. I'm going straight to bed." She wasn't exhausted from meetings. She was exhausted from destroying my life. "Mark, breakfast is ready." Chloe's sweet voice echoed up the stairs. I jumped. I quickly closed the laptop, locked myself in the master bathroom, and turned on the shower to muffle my voice. I grabbed my phone, ready to dial 911, but my finger hovered over the screen. What exactly was I going to tell the police? That my wife was posting on an anonymous message board? She could easily claim her laptop was hacked. She could say it was a creative writing project. I needed advice, so I called the only person I could trust, my best friend Mike, a ruthless and brilliant corporate attorney. I woke Mike up at 3 a.m. and told him everything. "Mark, listen to me very carefully," Mike said, his voice instantly losing its sleepy haze. "Do not confront her. Do not touch her laptop. Do not go to the cops yet." "Why not?" "She's planning to murder me," I whispered. "Because you have no hard evidence of a crime yet," Mike explained with brutal legal logic. "If you spook her, she deletes the Tor browser, wipes the hard drive with a magnet, and files a restraining order against you claiming you're paranoid and aggressive." "Think about your prenuptial agreement, Mark," Mike added. That hit me like a physical blow to the chest. The prenup. 3 years ago, Chloe's father, a massive Wall Street tycoon, was indicted for running a $100 million fraud scheme. The government seized everything. The media tore her family apart. Her trust fund friends vanished overnight. I was the IT consultant at her father's firm. I stood by her, shielded her from the paparazzi, and paid off the debt she was personally liable for. Before we married, she drafted an ironclad prenup. It stated that whatever was mine remained mine, and whatever was hers remained hers. We had 0 shared assets. I thought it was her way of protecting me from her family's legal mess. But Mike laid out the sinister reality. If you divorce her now, she walks away with nothing. But if you die, Mark, you have no kids. She is your sole surviving heir. She gets your life insurance, your house, your tech company shares. Everything legally transfers to her. The motive was clear. It was a long con. A 3-year psychological operation to take my wealth and my life. I need to know who she's sleeping with. I need to know who is helping her, I demanded. Mike sighed heavily over the phone. I actually had my private investigator look into her background a while ago, just as a precaution. I found someone. His name is Julian Vance. He's a pharmaceutical heir. They dated in high school. When her dad got arrested, Julian fled to Europe. But my PI says Julian is back in town. His family's business is failing, and he's been desperately trying to secure funding. It all made sense. The childhood sweetheart returns, broke. The wife realizes her husband is worth more dead than alive. Together, they orchestrate a murder. The next afternoon, Chloe returned from her trip. I was sitting on the sofa, feeling like a dead man walking. She walked in, dropping her designer luggage, and rushed over to hug me. "I missed you so much, baby," she cooed, her perfume smelling intensely of expensive roses. I forced my arms around her. Hugging her felt like embracing a loaded shotgun. "I got you a present for my trip," she said, pulling a long velvet box from her purse. I opened it. Inside was a heavy, custom-made mechanical watch. "Look at the back," she urged, her eyes wide and innocent. I flipped the watch over. Engraved in the steel were 2 letters, J and C. "What does this mean?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "It stands for joy and comfort," she smiled brightly. "Because you bring me joy, and I am your comfort." It took every ounce of my willpower not to scream. J and C, Julian and Chloe. She was making me wear the initials of the man she was sleeping with, the man who was probably going to help her murder me. I excused myself to the bathroom, locked the door, and checked the dark web forum on my phone. Step 92. Give him a gift engraved with the initials of the other man. Make him say he loves it. Completed. The psychological torture was unbearable. She wasn't just planning to kill me, she was playing a twisted game of dominance. Later that evening, she came into my home office. "Mark, you know how Julian, my old friend from high school, just moved back? He's looking for tech investors. I think we should take him out to dinner tonight. It would mean a lot to me," she said, tracing a finger down my shoulder. I texted Mike under the desk, "Dinner with Julian tonight. This is it." Mike replied instantly, "I'll have my PI parked outside the restaurant. Keep calm. Do not drink anything they hand you." At 7 p.m., we met Julian at an upscale Italian restaurant downtown. Julian was wearing a tailored suit, a smug grin plastered on his face. He shook my hand, his grip slightly too hard, trying to establish dominance. "Mark, I've heard so much about you. You've taken such good care of Chloe while I was away," Julian sneered. Throughout the dinner, they played a terrifying game of psychological warfare right in front of my face. Chloe accidentally dropped her napkin, and Julian reached under the table to pick it up. His hand lingered far too long near her leg. I ate my steak, tasting absolutely nothing. My adrenaline was spiking so hard my vision was vibrating. Then, Julian pulled out a vintage, heavy Zippo lighter and started playing with the lid. Click, clack, click, clack. "You know, Chloe," Julian said, his eyes locking onto hers. "My mother gave you a very special safe deposit box key right before I left for Europe. It contains something that could fix all my family's current financial problems. Do you still have it?" Chloe looked down, acting incredibly submissive. "I told you, Julian. When my dad got arrested, I was scared. I hid it under the loose floorboards of your family's abandoned hunting lodge upstate. I never touched it. It's still there," she whispered. Julian's eyes lit up with extreme greed. "Excellent. I'll take a drive upstate tonight." I sat there, watching the puzzle pieces come together. They were securing their funds tonight. Once he had the money, they wouldn't need me anymore. Step 100 was imminent. We finished the dinner. I paid the exorbitant bill, essentially funding my own executioners. When Chloe and I got back to our house, she went straight to the shower. I immediately logged onto the dark web forum. Step 93. Have dinner with the other man in front of him. Completed. Step 94. Make him pay an expensive bill for you and the other man. Completed. Step 98. Ensure the target has no way to escape his ruin. Completed. That was it. I couldn't play this game anymore. I was going to be murdered in my sleep. I grabbed a duffel bag and started throwing clothes into it. I didn't care about the prenup anymore. I just wanted to live. As I grabbed my car keys, my phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. It was Mike. I picked it up. "Mike, I'm leaving." She updated the forum. "She's going to kill me." "Mark, shut up and listen to me." Mike was screaming over the phone, police sirens wailing loudly in his background. "What is going on?" I yelled back. "Julian Vance just got arrested. A massive DEA raid," Mike shouted, breathless. My brain stalled. Arrested? But he went to his hunting lodge to get his money. "Mark, that wasn't money," Mike said. "The feds ambushed him the second he pulled the safe from under the floorboards. The safe was packed with 50 kilos of pure fentanyl precursors. Julian's pharmaceutical company wasn't failing. They were a front for a massive cartel drug ring. He's facing life in federal prison." The phone slipped from my sweaty grip and hit the floor. I turned around. Chloe was standing at the edge of the kitchen, her hair wrapped in a towel, wearing her robe. She looked at my packed duffel bag and then up at my pale face. The terrified, submissive act was entirely gone. She looked calm, deadly calm. "You talked to Mike," she said simply. I backed up against the wall. "I saw the forum, Chloe. The Cat in Heaven account. I know you were going to kill me today." Chloe let out a long, heavy sigh. She walked over to the fridge, poured herself a glass of cold water, and took a sip. "Mark, you absolute, lovable idiot," she whispered, her eyes softening into something that looked like immense relief. The dark web game was real, but the target, him, was never you. I stared at her, paralyzed. "What?" "Julian is a psychopath," Chloe began, her voice shaking slightly with repressed rage. "He bullied and abused me in high school. He had compromising photos of me, forced me to do things. He told me that if I ever tried to escape him, he had 100 ways to destroy my life. When my father found out, he tried to protect me. But my dad made a mistake. He rented a warehouse to Julian's father. That warehouse was used to store the cartel's chemicals. When the feds closed in, my dad took the fall for the financial fraud to keep the drug charges off his head, ensuring Julian's family wouldn't kill me to keep me quiet. My jaw physically dropped. The pieces were shifting, forming a completely different picture. I swore revenge, Chloe said, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. I spent 3 years setting up the trap with the DEA, using my dad's old contacts. I documented my psychological revenge on that forum. The 100 challenges. The him in every post was Julian. You. You were the other man. I grabbed my head, my mind spinning. Wait, challenge 51? Kissing another man? The photo? Chloe actually laughed through her tears. That was us. In your Honda Civic after our first anniversary dinner. I cropped your face out so Julian wouldn't recognize you. Challenge 90? The hotel bed? The man sleeping? I demanded. Mark, that was our honeymoon in Hawaii. You always sleep with your face buried in the pillows. And the coffee? I asked, desperation in my voice. The sleeping pill? You had a 103-degree fever that morning but refused to call in sick. I put NyQuil in your coffee so you would stay home and rest, she yelled back. I fell backward onto a bar stool, the adrenaline draining from my body so fast I felt dizzy. The prenup, I mumbled. Mike said you wanted all my assets. Chloe walked over and put her hands on my face. I pushed for the prenup to protect you. If my sting operation with the DEA failed, if Julian decided to kill me, or if I went to prison, I legally severed our assets so they couldn't take a single dime from you. I sat in silence for what felt like an eternity. The woman I thought was an evil mastermind plotting my death was, in fact, an evil mastermind plotting the destruction of a cartel boss to protect our family. So, I finally spoke, my voice hoarse. Step 100. Kill him. It meant giving Julian the location of the safe today, handing him a life sentence in a federal supermax. His life is effectively over. He is dead, Chloe said firmly. I let out a breath I felt like I had been holding for 3 days. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and opened the Notes app. Okay, I said, looking up at my beautiful, terrifying, amazing wife. I have a few challenges of my own now. Chloe raised an eyebrow. Oh? Let's hear them. Challenge 1. Forgive your husband for being a complete, paranoid idiot. Chloe laughed, wiping her eyes. Completed. Challenge 2. Order a massive pepperoni pizza right now, because I didn't eat a single bite of that Italian dinner. She walked over and hugged me tight. Pending. And what's challenge 3? I wrapped my arms around her, finally feeling truly safe. Challenge 3. Let's start a family.